All right, we are live. Welcome to another day with the CrossBonesMMA radio gang. Real quick, we get all the bullshit commercials out the way. F3 Foods. If you are not eating correctly, your workout ain't doing shit. Go to the getfitprogram.com and use Crossbones, CROSSBONES, all one word for a discount, motherfuckers. Also, Nature Box. If you want some good snacks to go with that good food, go to CrossBonesMMA.com, click on the Nature Box banner, get yourself some good snacks so you are not ruining your progress in your diet. Go to the website, CrossBonesMMA.com, click on the banner, get yourself some help on that. Troxafen, look, let's just be honest. Troxafen, you're going to use it to work out and get, muscle tone and all that. It also helps you get it up when your lady wants some. Make sure you go get some of that stuff and get yourself going, all right? And, of course, Amazon.com. Go to CrossBonesMMA.com for that little box where it says Amazon on there. Do your regular shopping. No extra cost to you. We get a little bit of a kickback from Amazon. Helps the website stay running and the shows and all that stuff keep going. So help us out. Shop through that box at Amazon.com. Quickest commercials ever done ever. So let's get on the show. Welcome to 5 Rounds with Eddie and Nick. This is episode 54 of the show of the 5 Round series, but it is now with Eddie and Nick, or at least for now. Our boy John Galloway is going to be taking some time off to do his thing, So we'll see him back soon enough. But for now, you get myself, Eddie Law, and Mr. Nick Pilecki. Nick, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Just got back from the gym, doing my first jits class in a while. I already hurt my shoulder, taking someone down. Maybe I shouldn't have took the bigger guy down first, but all I know is I'm having a way better day than Aaron Hernandez today. So
yeah, exactly. Aaron Hernandez is gonna have to learn how to pull guard or some shit because that dude's fucked. So yeah. Speaking of taking people down, see, I never like taking people down. I like pulling guard. But then you get yourself in some really, really crappy situations. Yeah. So you got to be really good off your back to pull guard, especially in the jits class and all that. So let's get to the first topic of the day. UFC Poland. I'll run down to the results real quick, but we'll just talk about the main card real quick. Poland. Let me pull up the results for you. But while I'm doing that, let's say out of the prelims, which was your favorite fight out of those?
Out of the prelims, it was a good card overall. Let's see. I'm trying to pull it up too because let's see. Where's my?
It might be up now. There it is.
Okay. Where we at? Okay, there we go. Out of the prelims, I'd have to say the Chicks fight because it's a Chicks fight. Nothing was held back. It's always good, and it was a good knockout in the second round. So out of all the fights, it has to be that one.
Yeah, so and you know what? The finally we get Alexandra Albu to be in the UFC. Before there was some kind of snag according to her something to do with her record and stuff, which is why she hasn't fought before. But now she's finally on there, and she did pretty well. I don't know much about Isabella Badurek, but it ended up being a pretty good fight overall. But excited. Look, Alexandra Albu. A lot of people are taking away the fact if you Google her name, you'll find out why a lot of dudes like her. All right, it ain't just her fighting. Or to say it's not just your beauty, it's your booty. So it's one of those things where she's a really good looking girl. But the first fight on the prelims was Taylor Lapilus, who defeats Rocky Lee via decision. After that, this guy gets a lot of fan support. Stevie Ray defeats Marcin Bandel via TKO in the second round. After that, of course, we get Alexandra Albu, who wins via TKO in the second round. Then Anthony Hamilton gets a decision win. I thought this one would have gotten knockout, given the fact that they're two heavyweights, but apparently not. But Anthony Hamilton gets another win in the heavyweight division, which, of course, as we know, is a very, very talent-hungry division because they don't have a lot of guys on there. After that, we got Yausen Meza, teammate of one Benson Henderson, who made the trip out to Poland, which makes him a really good teammate, and defeated Damian Stasiak via decision. That was actually a pretty fun grappling match for a while. Then Sergio Moraes defeats Mikhail Lebeau via decision. Then we got Bartosz Fabinski defeating Gareth McClellan via decision. And unfortunately, the Arizona boy from Apache Junction, Arizona, gets knocked down 8 seconds by Leon Edwards with a nice, crisp left hand that just put him to sleep immediately. That might have been my favorite fight my second favorite fight of the night. But let's talk about the main card, man. What do you think Joanne Calderwood was going to do against Marina Moroz?
Honestly, I thought Joanne was going to put up a good striking clinic against Mariah, but was opposite direction. Joanne she didn't look like she was very comfortable in there at the time. She got caught a couple times, and once she got hit, she didn't look like the JoJo that we all know, and then she ended up getting submitted in the first round. I was very surprised at that. I was looking forward to that fight. I know I was at work and I was coming home, and I asked you if JoJo fought yet because I was just staying off the internet until I can go home and watch it, and I was very, very disappointed with the win or with the loss for JoJo. But my hat's off to Mariah, and she did her thing, and she's trying to make a name for herself.
Yeah. Friggin' here's the thing with JoJo. And JoJo looks scared shitless, just walking to the cage. She looks scared shitless, and when she was standing there waiting for the fight to start, when they were announcing the names. And she actually came out later on Facebook or on Twitter, one of the social medias, and said that, made this little statement about the fact that she was in shock about something happening in her personal life. Last night on Keyboard Warriors, I believe it was Aaron Robbins who made the point that you're a professional fighter. Tough shit that something happened in your personal life, but you got to suck it up and fight. I don't think it's that simple, all right, especially with women, but something must have happened that really threw her off her game. Marina Moroz, meanwhile, looks like a strawweight killer. Her armbar was really nice. It didn't help that JoJo stood up instead of squashing on top of Marina, but either way, Marina gets well, in my opinion, the big time upset win, and she impressed a lot of people that night, including getting on top of the cage and calling out the champion Joanna Jędrzejczyk already in her, I think this was her first fight in the UFC. I'm not 100% sure, but regardless, big win for Moroz. After that, a fight that I didn't watch too much because it was kind of, in my opinion, it was kind of lame. In my opinion, it's a little boring. Powell Pollack defeats Sheldon Westcott. Did you watch this fight?
I did. I was in and out of it. It was an all right fight. It wasn't the most entertaining fight. It's just two guys trying to make a name for themselves. It was just their styles clashed way too much, and it was just a neutral fight in my opinion.
Yeah, it was a neutral fight overall. From what I saw a little bit of it. And in the co-main event, we get your boy Jimmy Manuwa defeating Jan Blachowicz via decision. What makes it more impressive is that he did it on one knee. Allegedly, in fact, not allegedly, he already came out and said that one of his knees is blown to shit. ACL, PCL, and MCL were all just torn. So no word yet 100% on how he got the injury, but it was definitely before the fight. And he ended up winning that fight by decision, which makes John look really, really bad. What do you think of this fight?
Very, very impressed with Jimmy Manuwa, especially that he did it on one knee. He was just on his A game, and watching the fight, I thought he was going to finish him beginning of the fight, but when I found out he was basically working on one knee, I was very surprised that he even survived the fight and actually did as well as he did do. And I was very impressed with Jimmy Manuwa, and hopefully he's speedy recovery because I like seeing the guy fight. He's a good fighter. He's very, very dynamic, and can't wait to see him back.
There you go. All right, and in the main event, a fight some people are calling a classic now. It was Gabriel Gonzaga taking on Mirko Cro Cop. Gabriel Gonzaga really having the upper hand for the most part in this fight until the end. I mean, you see the numbers right there. Almost 7 minutes of control by Gabriel Gonzaga to almost 1 minute for Mirko, but that's all he needed to land those nasty, disgusting elbows that left a bleeding, I called it a vagina last night, but a nice giant cut on Gabriel Gonzaga's eyebrow that will for sure be a nice little scar or a big old scar for him in the future. But a big win for Mirko Cro Cop at 40 years old, gets his win back from Gabriel Gonzaga. A lot of people call this a classic. What did you think of this one?
Very surprised. I thought Gabriel Gonzaga was going to run over Mirko just because he's an older fighter. He's getting up there in age. I didn't think he would still have it. And he was defending himself very, very well during the whole fight. And I thought it was going to go to decision. But then you see Gabriel Gonzaga getting a little bit tired. He just kept leaning Mirko against the cage. And then Mirko used that and used him leaning against the cage to throw a nasty elbow and rock Gonzaga, which we've never seen. I've never seen someone rock like that before due to an elbow like that. And it was very impressive. And like you said, left a nasty cut on Gabriel Gonzaga's eye. But it shows you how shallow the heavyweight division is, because Mirko Cro Cop's ranked number 15 now after this first win back in the UFC. So it's crazy. But great fight. I don't know if we're going to see Gabriel or Mirko Cro Cop. I don't know when we're going to see him fight, but good.
Yeah, well, I think Mr. Pilecki froze, but overall, it's really weird. This is the reason I don't like the rankings at all as far as combat sports goes. There shouldn't really be any rankings whatsoever. With Mirko Krokop beating a Gabriel Gonzaga that has, I think this is his third loss in a row, bumping him up to the number 15 rank is pretty messed up. And honestly, to me, it really speaks volumes of what the rankings do. And don't even get me started on the pound for pound rankings. Those things are just garbage. Anyway, you back?
Yeah, I thought you went out, so I was talking to myself.
I don't know. One of us went out. Oh, you froze again. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, continuing on here. Let's talk about Nate Diaz versus Matt Brown. It was reported not too long ago that Nate Diaz versus Matt Brown was a done deal. However, we come to find out that Mr. Nate Diaz does not agree with that, did not sign the contract, and Matt Brown actually confirmed, I believe today or yesterday, that there is no fight against Nate Diaz, which makes you wonder if the UFC's negotiating tactics, whether or not they are the kind of organization that does not go out of their way to have their fighters in on the negotiations, whether they make oh, what's up, dude? You back?
I think so. I don't know what the hell's going on with my internet, but I'm back. So
all right, man. Yeah. All right. So I started to talk about Nate Diaz and Matt Brown, how that fight's no longer going down. I was excited as fuck for the fight. I would prefer it was Nick Diaz, but of course, the older Diaz brother is in deep jack shit with the NSAC due to just completely going right through any level limits of THC in the system or metabolites, whatever it is that they measure for marijuana. So you get Nate Diaz versus Matt Brown, and then Nate Diaz comes out and says, I ain't fighting Matt Brown. I want Pettis. And so this is a whole weird thing where he's kind of he went on the MMA Hour and talked about the fact that the UFC tried to strong arm him into the fight by announcing it and then, getting people excited about it. So what does this tell you about how the UFC makes fights?
It's not, in my opinion, how the UFC makes fights. It's about, I think it's Nate Diaz, in my opinion. He was offered a fight. He didn't take it. He doesn't want to take it, but he wants the bigger name fights. It's him about making money, in my opinion. And the UFC just needs to buckle down and say, hey, if you're not going to fight this person, that's fine. You're just going to have to wait for someone else. You're not going to get that big payday like your brother did just asking for Anderson Silva. So it's really weird, but I want to see this fight. I do want to see Nate Diaz versus Matt Brown. I think it'd be an awesome fight, and I was really looking forward to it. But now that's not happening. I'm very disappointed in it.
Yeah, Andrew Reed letting you know that you probably need to pay your broadband bill. That's the reason your internet's freezing.
I did pay my broadband bill, and I'm very disappointed because I'm supposed to have the fastest internet in Texas, and I don't anymore.
We're gonna have to figure that out. Anyway, maybe. I don't know. The Diaz brothers are always very interesting to deal with. They always have their opinions. They're never going to lie to you. I mean, maybe they lie to you, but regardless, they will tell you what they think, how they feel. And if Nate Diaz won't want to fight Matt Brown, he wants to fight Matt Brown. He said he'll take the fight. Any fight that's going to pay him, he's going to take that fight. But he for sure, in his mind, seems like he doesn't what do you call it? He doesn't want to get strong arm into a fight against Matt Brown. I hope it still goes down. I hope somehow he talks to the UFC and they figure it out. But if that's not possible, I don't know. Okay, it screws both Matt Brown and Nate Diaz. It really does blow. But at some point, there's not much you can do about it. Moving on to some news that broke today. Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis, decided he was going to sign with Bellator, and then after rumors coming out earlier this morning of that happening. It went official maybe a couple hours, like an hour and change ago. He officially signed with Bellator, becoming easily the biggest name that they have in the promotion, next to one Rampage Jackson, who's trying to get the fuck out. So now we have Phil Davis going into the light heavyweight division of Bellator. How quick do you think, or how long do you think it takes him to become champion?
Less than a year. I give him 2 or maybe 2 fights in Bellator and he'll get the title shot. Very disappointed that he's out of the UFC. I really do like Phil Davis as a fighter. A lot of people don't because he's just that Division I wrestler from Penn State that just likes taking people down and grinding him. But I like him. In my opinion, a lot of people can give me shit for this. The Machida fight, in my opinion, he did win that fight on takedowns alone, just holding him down. So I like Phil Davis. Good job, Bellator. Good job getting a high name. You're just trying to be the next wannabe UFC and picking up the UFC stars and just making them your own. But I guess I'll have to watch him on Bellator now and win that Bellator championship now.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, he's going to go to Bellator taking a bunch of, lower level fighters, really. And I think I was talking to Andrew Reed on Twitter. If you guys don't know, he's a friend of the show's, and he was talking about how he's now, he didn't like to be, or Davies didn't like to be a small fish in a big pond. Well, now he's a big fish in a small pond, and he's going to grapple the hell out of all those other guys in the 205 division. He's going to get that belt real damn soon. You know what? I'll pretty much say I'll be surprised if his first fight isn't for the title. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't fight McGreary right away for the title. And so you could see him go on a nice long win streak, and then after that contract's over, maybe come back to the UFC with that win streak behind him and find a way to either get a title fight coming back in or, like win one to a title fight type of deal. But, in the end, I just hope he's getting paid. I really do. I like Phil Davis. I enjoy the way, for the most part, how he fights, except for the eye pokes and the fact that he sometimes tends to lay and pray. Mm-hmm. But Bellator's a good place to grow and test your skills against lower level guys. But I think you brought this point up before the show even started. Is would you make Rampage Jackson against Phil Davis? Should Rampage Jackson be forced to stay with Bellator?
Yeah, it would be an entertaining fight, and it would be 2 ex-UFC fighters fighting each other on Bellator and giving them big numbers. So I like that fight. It would be actually a good fight. Give Quentin Rampage Jackson a time either to throw the fight and get back into the UFC or win the fight and get up to a title shot. But I'm looking at Bellator's roster right now. Phil Davis is already on there. He's already on there. He's already official. And looking at the light heavyweight division, I don't see anyone that can beat him in the light heavyweight division other than Quentin Jackson catching him with the right hand or a left hand and hard left hand. So other than that, Joey Beltran can't do it. Stephan Bonner, he's just there just to be there. Maybe King Mo. King Mo would be a sick fight. Actually, now I think about that. But other than that, we'll have to see what happens to Phil Davis in Bellator and see how long it takes him to get that title.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? That King Mo versus Phil Davis fight would be, in my opinion, would be the fight to make if it's not Phil Davis fighting for the title right away. That'd be a fun fight. For sure King Mo's down to do it. Mm-hmm. But especially, I think especially he just beat Czech Congo, which is weird as that was just a weird fight to watch. But moving on here, 3 fights that were announced, I believe, yesterday for a card in Chicago on July 25th, headlined by 1 TJ Dillashaw versus Barao, 2 finally. Hopefully, we actually get to see this rematch go down for the title. Let's start with that one. We've talked about this fight for fucking ever, and so many times that it's gotten canceled due to injury and whatever else, or having a bad weight cut and falling face first into a bathtub. It's just one of those things. So, do you think we actually get to see this fight come July 25th?
I hope so, man. I'm hoping 3rd time's a charm for this fight. I've been waiting for the fight. I actually did not get to see the first fight live. It was one of the rare times I missed a pay-per-view, and I was very upset that I missed that fight because going back and watching the replay, it was such a great fight. I would love to watch it live with fans at the place that I usually go to. But the second time, I was super pumped for it, already set up in the bar, and figured out that it wasn't going to be him, or already had my table set and everything. But now, hopefully we get the 3rd time's a charm, and it's a free card, which is sick. It's a free Fox card. So I'm really excited for this. And the other fights that we're going to name off in a little bit makes the card even better. So even if it does fall through, we still have a strong card, and it's free on Fox. Yeah,
and speaking of the rest of that card, we'll skip the second fight real quick because I want to talk about why the hell they made that fight. But let's move on. Miesha Tate versus Jessica Evil Eye in what is assumed to be a title eliminator. I'm not sure how this would work for Miesha Tate. If she beats Jessica Eye, if she gets another title shot, I don't think anyone cares to see that. But should Jessica Ai be able to beat Miesha Tate, I think she would be, after Bethe Correia, the next challenger to the belt. Which again, I love Jessica Ai. She's awesome. She's a cool chick. She's a great fighter, but she's not going to beat Ronda Rousey. As just like Miesha Tate's not going to beat Ronda Rousey. So this is a fun fight overall. Who do you have in this fight? Because I think Jessica Ai somehow finds a way to grind the win out, but it's going to be tough against Miesha Tate, who is way more experienced than Jessica Ai.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. It's gonna be a very entertaining fight. If Jessica Ai wins, I won't be that upset because I do like Miesha Tate. But I think Miesha Tate, she's a tough dude, or not dude. She's a tough chick fighter. She's that girl that you could beat up. You can keep beating up in the first round, but that second and third round, she's coming off knowing that she's down a round, is gonna go for a win and keep grinding you out. So I'm hoping Miesha Tate actually takes that fight and actually wins it, because I kind of want to see the Miesha Tate Ronda Rousey fight next. Who else do you put her against? Holly Holm, who didn't have a very decisive win in her debut. No, you can give her the girl that grinded her out, that actually took Ronda Rousey longest to beat, and you have that past that they hate each other. They hated each other in Strikeforce. They hated each other over in UFC during the tough season. They hate each other already. So it's another markable fight. It's the girl that took Ronda Rousey past the first round, and I think it would be a good fight. And Miesha Tate is that grinder that will just keep pushing towards it. But I do want to see the Jessica Ai fight too, because it's a different name for Ronda Rousey.
Man, Ronda Rousey would destroy Miesha Tate. I don't think it's even a fight to make, man. I think at this point people are bored of that fight. That's like when they made JDS Kane through, was it 3? Yeah. Yeah, 3. Everybody knew Kane was going to destroy JDS. Everyone thought for some reason that JDS would be able to grind him out, but it's not going to happen, Yeah. That's why no one's clamoring to see JDS Kane 4. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is for an exciting fight. Maybe people do want to watch it. I think anybody or everybody wants to watch Ronda Rousey fight. Mm-hmm. So either way, that fight's going to be a big draw. All right, so that's just how it is. All right. Wow, I'm so out of it. Moving on. Let's talk about your boy Anderson. Oh, no, sorry. One more fight that I forgot to talk about. Wow. Anthony Pettis is going to be fighting Miles Jury on that same card. Is this not the UFC finding the fastest way to get Anthony Pettis back into a title fight?
It is. It's giving Anthony Pettis the free fight to win to get him back in title contention. He's been number one in that division for a while. It's just here. We're going to give you an easy fight. But Miles Jury, maybe what happens if he pulls off the win against Anthony Pettis? Like maybe UFC is maybe putting too much into Anthony Pettis. What if Miles Jury finds out the weakness of Anthony Pettis like RDA did and starts hurting him and starts picking him apart and winning the match? What happens to Anthony Pettis then? Then you have your top guy drop down a lot during the weight classes. But I don't know. It's a weird fight. I don't like it. I think he should have fought Michael Johnson and Edson Barbosa, someone a little bit higher with more dynamic striking and everything, a little bit higher in the rankings. But Miles Jury, that's just a weird fight. I
thought for sure it was going to be Pettis versus the loser of Cerrone versus Khabib. That would have been – look, you get the rematch against Cerrone. Now Cerrone's on a roll. Let's say he loses against Khabib and he gets Anthony Pettis. Cerrone gets a chance to get back on a roll, and Pettis, gets to prove that he can beat a high-level guy at 155 again. Or if he fights Khabib, we finally get the damn Khabib Pettis fight that everyone's been talking about. But Khabib's, he's gunning for that title. But it's a weird fight. I don't like it whatsoever. Pettis was talking shit about fighting Diaz, Nate Diaz. So I thought that was going to be the fight. It's just it almost feels like the UFC's like, whatever, just give him somebody, give him something easy. Get him back in a title shot, and we can start printing out Wheaties boxes again and shit. So it's that kind of thing for the UFC. It's a weird fight. I really don't care for it. But if you're in Chicago on July 25th, a card to go to for sure. And if you're at home, well, just kick back, invite your buddies over, get some free beer, and watch this card free on Fox, which is surprising to have such a baller card on free TV. All right, moving on here to Anderson Silva. He wants the rematch against my boy Nick Diaz. First of all, Anderson Silva suspended. Most likely he's going to be suspended a little longer. Anderson Silva's starting to lose his mind because now he wants to do Taekwondo in 2016 in the Olympics, which is not going to happen. And I know he's your hero, but as objective as you can, why in the fuck is he talking shit right now?
He has no right to talk shit right now. He beat quote unquote Nick Diaz legally with no steroids in his system, and I don't know if Nick Diaz even wants this fight. He already lost. He got paid for it. He took a cut for it, but he got paid. So I don't know. It's really weird. He said, quote, I believe that there are some things that are unfinished between me and Nick Diaz. So we posted that on Instagram. He's like, I hope that you, Dana White, can accept my request and make a rematch possible in my country of Brazil. Now, see, that's bringing up a lot of fans saying, why in Brazil? Why can't you do it in Las Vegas? Why can't
So
you
he
do
can roid without getting in trouble. That's why.
And I say that.
Yeah.
God damn it. But no, I don't think that it's not a personal opinion. I think I want to see the fight again. I want to see Anderson Silva back in the cage. I want to see him face Nick Diaz. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Do I think Anderson Silva is going to be in the Taekwondo in the Olympics? No, maybe not. If he is, I'm going Brazil all the way. But if not, he's going to be suspended, and we're going to have to wait and see who his next opponent is, depending on how long and whenever this hearing happens, because they both postponed it, I think, twice already. So we'll have to see what happens, but I do want to see the rematch personally.
It's real weird to me, man, this whole thing where he postpones his Nevada State Athletic Commission hearing twice, the disciplinary hearing, he postpones it twice, and we might have a third one. And then, then he wants to, fight Taekwondo, do the Taekwondo, fight for Brazil in Taekwondo in 2016 in the Olympics. And then he wants to fight Nick Diaz again. First of all, if we get Nick Diaz against Anderson Silva too, Nick Diaz gonna win. Second of all, it's look at you losing your mind. Anyway, but that suspension's coming. He's not gonna be able to fight. There's no way the Olympics lets him fight with a performance-enhancing drug suspension on his record that's still fucking pending. All right. So what?
What if the hearing happens? Do you think he can still compete in the Olympics, knowing that he's still suspended and everything like that, even if they test him and everything?
I think it depends on the result of the actual the hearing and all that stuff. So, I mean, should he come out as like, okay, you're right, you were clean, you're fine, or whatever, he comes out with something favorable, you might be able to see him fight in the Olympics. You might be able to see him fight Nick Diaz again. I just don't see that happening. So that's just the kind of thing that's going to happen. Also, I've been watching Tough Brazil 4, and they're actually going to be showing Anderson Silva getting the phone call from the UFC of, hey, man, you fucked up. So it's an episode to watch. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if it's out yet. I don't think it is. But if it is, go check it out. Otherwise, I think there's a video on YouTube floating around, or MMA Junkie might have it. Somebody has it showing Anderson Silva getting that phone call. And
there's already a meme out, too. So,
is there really? What is it?
It's I think I have it on my computer somewhere. It's him with a weird-ass face saying, oh, I know test positive for doping, and that's it. It's stupid. I need to find it and send it to you, though.
Jeez, man. Come on now. All right. Let's talk about the last thing here we got is previewing this weekend's UFC, I think it's Newark, New Jersey card. So UFC Newark. UFC Fight Night Machida versus Rockhold. It's a really good card for being free, honestly. Overall, I'm really definitely looking forward to it. I'm going to have to be watching it from Las Vegas, which is weird. For one time I'm in Vegas, the fights are in freaking New Jersey. But let's kick it off with the very first fight of the night on UFC Fight Pass on the early prelims, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. It is Eddie Gordon against Chris Dempsey. Chris Dempsey's got a weird face, I'll say that much. But Eddie Gordon is a bad dude. But he is coming off a knockout, I believe a knockout loss to who did he lose to? You remember?
Shit. Hold on. I think I have it. Chris Dempsey. No. Josh Sherman.
Samson.
That's it. Josh Salmon.
Yeah, it's the guy that kind of looks like the guy's a Green Ranger, but he's not. And then he did that weird double punch BS thing after saying, "Oh, watch this," and that annoys the fuck out of me. But he's gonna try and get back on the winning record here against Chris Dempsey in Newark, New Jersey, which is actually near where he lives. After that, we get there's actually three former Conor McGregor opponents on this card that are making their comeback now. Diego Brandao is going to take on Jimmy Hetz on the second fight in the Fight Pass prelims, and headlining the Fight Pass prelims, George Sullivan against Tim Means. Tim Means getting called out by everybody after his last fight. Are you impressed with what Tim Means has done so far, and does he deserve to maybe get bumped up to the regular prelims or maybe even the main card?
I actually do like Tim Means. He's a good fighter. I think he should be bumped up at least to the prelims, but this is going to be the fight to show that he can do it and that he's marketable, and you can throw him on the prelim. So let's see what happens this weekend.
All right, and then the number 6 ranked bantamweight Takeya Mizugaki taking on Aljamain Sterling, who has an awesome nickname, the Funk Master. He is undefeated in the U.S. as a professional MMA fighter so far. So I'm looking for another big win from him to maybe get up there and start taking some top 10, top 15 guys. After that, one of the, I believe, top 19 winners, Corey Anderson. For some reason, let's talk about, we always talk about his nickname because it makes absolutely no sense. Beasting 25-8. What dimension does this motherfucker live in? Yeah, exactly. Nobody knows. So, Beasting 25-8. Someone told this guy's 24/7. 25-8. You're bending time and space, sir. You need to stop. All right, that's something's wrong with you. He's taking on Guillaume Villante. Should be a pretty good fight right there. And then a fight which I thought, I thought they should make this fight. I thought they should make the main card a 5-fight main card. Just to add this one in there, because it's definitely deserving of a main card spot. Patrick Cummins coming in, taking on Open St. Preux. OSP, who just knocked out Shogun not too long ago, and then after getting destroyed by Ryan Bader, I believe is who it was. Yeah. But he's going to take on another powerful wrestler in Patrick Cummins, who I think is a better wrestler than Ryan Bader. I think Patrick Cummins is going to come in and grind them to shit and get a win. Unless OSP can keep that distance and hurt him with some jabs and just work on his takedown defense. What do you think of this fight? Who you got winning?
The only way Patrick Cummins wins is if he does take down OSP and keep him down. That's the only way he's going to win. He has to grind him out. But I think OSP is actually going to catch him either late in the first or early in the second round. I think Pat's just going to come in, go for the takedown, and OSP is going to catch him when he's coming in. So I have to go OSP on this one. I do like this fight. It should be on the main card. But, yeah, no, it should be on the main card. You should move Cub Swanson down to the prelim main header. But I'm not the matchmakers in the UFC.
Obviously. Otherwise, we get paid a lot more than you do now, right? Yeah. All right, moving on to the headliner for the prelims. Jim Miller coming back after losing to Cowboy Cerrone, taking on Beneil Dariush. This should be a really good fight. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Both guys are bad motherfuckers. So that is going to do it for your Fox prelims, which go live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on Fox. And then you get the Fox main card getting kicked off by two good-looking girls. Paige Van Zandt taking on Felice Herrig. A little side note here. Felice Herrig says that she is, that they use her likeness in the new Mortal Kombat game. Have you seen her on there, and do you think it's true?
Yes, actually, it's really creepy. My buddy just got it's Mortal Kombat X. It just came out, and the character that she's referring to her name's Cassie Cage. She actually really does look like Cassie Cage. There's a lot of scenes in the Mortal Kombat game that she's chewing bubble gum and making a bubble, and Felice Herring has pictures like that on Instagram. There's a picture of her. I'm just gonna say this. Don't say a joke, Eddie. On her knees, holding her fists. Just looking fierce, and there's another one with Cassie Cage. And then also taking a selfie is her fatality while she rips out her opponent's jaw, and she takes a selfie with her opponent. So it's the likeliness is really, really creepy, and I think she has a good case on her hands.
Yeah, that's a good point. The whole selfie thing's what got me. I haven't played the game, but I'm definitely going to go check it out today. And then, and that's not an endorsement of the game. I'm just a big Mortal Kombat fan, and I've always been, and always will be, so I'm definitely going to play that shit. Anyway, Paige Van Zandt coming in. We know Paige Van Zandt recently on the headlines due to the fact that she is fine as hell and got a Reebok sponsorship before a lot of the other strawweights did. In fact, before a lot of the other female fighters did. So, and she's only had one fight in the UFC. Mind you, it was pretty good. She did win that fight via TKO, I believe. But it's just let's just go over the fight instead of getting to all that political crap that we're talking about, because Carlos Parza already came out and said her part. A lot of other fighters said their part. But in this fight alone, who do you have and why?
I'm going. It's hard, but I'm gonna go with Paige on it. I think she's more durable. She's a tough fighter. She can take a punch. She's strong for her age, especially. But just seeing her live fight twice in a local show down here in Texas against one of our hometown fighters, Miss Garza, she took her apart and just beat her up the whole fight. And then her last fight against Caitlin Curran, she just took her apart and took in the first minute and a half, she took some mean punches, but got her composure and ended up taking the win and taking the fight. I think that she can grind out a win and take it to Felice, but the only way Felice can win, I think, is taking her down and submitting Paige VanZant, because she's just that durable and that tough.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what? I'm going to take Felice Herrig just on experience alone. I don't think Paige VanZant has anything new to throw at Felice Herrig, and I think she takes that fight via just decision, most likely, maybe even a submission. But I think she's going to take it just due to the fact that she's so experienced in fighting, and she's Paige is not going to throw anything new at her that Felice hasn't seen in her career already. All right. After that, we got Cub Swanson against Max Holloway, two guys that have fought and lost to Conor McGregor. Correct me if I'm wrong. Cub Swanson fought him, right? Because for some reason I'm doubting myself on that one.
I believe he did fight him. I'm
okay.
95% sure.
Okay, well, whatever. Two guys that fought Conor McGregor and lost. Max Holloway against Cub Swanson. Who do you got in this fight?
Cub Swanson did not fight Conor McGregor, I don't believe. Anyway, it's a hard fight. I like Cub Swanson. He's a very good fighter, but I think he's a little bit overrated. Max Holloway, on the other hand, is a beast. He comes to fight and he comes to win. He's that Hawaiian-born fighter. He has in his blood. He goes in to take your head off and get a W. And I think Max Holloway is going to take this win, take the upset against the favorite Cub Swanson.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that. Max Holloway is the man. So, and I want to see him get a rematch against Conor at some point. So yeah. Anyway, moving on here to the co-main event. Was supposed to be Ronaldo Salza, Mr. Jacare, against Yoel Romero, Mr. Shit himself every fight. Turns out Yoel Romero got hurt, possibly shitting himself, and now Chris Camozzi steps up to get the rematch against Jacare. How fast does Jacare get the win?
Less than a minute. I'll say it.
Okay. I think I was going to go for 2 minutes. I think Camozzi learned from his first fight, but it's possible that you might be right. So
I think Camozzi, since he doesn't have a full fight camp for this fight, I think he's going to just come in and try to scare Jacare, which no one scares the Gator like that, and I think the Gator's just going to catch him dirty.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Moving on here to the main event, Machida versus Rockhold. A lot of people saying Machida is too damn good to lose to Rockhold. I think Rockhold gets this one. It's going to be a hard fight. It's going to be a long fight. I think it'll be a decision fight for Luke Rockhold. I don't think he's going to finish Machida. Not a lot of people are able to finish the Dragon. But is Lyoto Machida's experience and skill set just too much for Luke Rockhold to overcome?
Yes. I think that karate style base that he's been doing as a kid is going to be a little bit too much for Luke Rockhold. I like Luke Rockhold. He's a great fighter. I have watched him in the past. I do like him. But I don't think his skill can match Lyoto Machida. Lyoto Machida is too fast. He's too quick. He's too much of a counter fighter. If Luke Rockhold takes him down and can control him, he can beat Machida. But I think Machida is going to get taken down. He's going to pop right back up like a cat. He's going to try to catch him again and just counter the punch. So I think I'm going to have to go with Machida on this one. And it's going to be a long fight, though, but I don't think no one's going to get finished in this fight.
Yeah, I think it's going to go decision, but I'm going to go, I'll go with Rockhold in decision just for the fact that I'm a Rockhold fan. And I'm kind of tired of the Machida fanboys, honestly. That should get old.
Why are you a Rockhold fan? Is it because he trains with the Diaz brothers?
No, Rockhold, well, maybe, but he also trains with AKA Cain Velasquez. So that's my boy. All right, that's going to do it for today, unless you have anything else you want to bring up.
No. Okay.
All right, cool. Thanks for tuning in to 5 Rounds with Eddie and Nick now. Like I said, John will be back sometime soon, hopefully. He's taking some time off. So for now, you get us two knuckleheads. This should be a fun show every week. It is also going to go to once a week on Wednesdays. And so we're going to have a packed show every week. And so you definitely tune in for every single one. All right. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at Elo31. You can follow the page at CrossBonesMMA. Follow Nick over at NickXMicro. John Galloway is at MMA John G. Don Manos at CB _Don. Yeah. CB MMA _Don. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And then Jesse Rubalcaba is at SPW181983, whatever the fuck that means. And then, go to facebook.com/CrossBonesMMA, like the page. There is a Facebook profile of CrossBonesMMA that is ours. I have no clue how to get to it. So if you do, definitely friend them. I'll find a way to get on and add you as a friend on there. Whew. That's tiring. Go to CrossBonesMMA.com for all your MMA news. Also, a big shout out to a friend of Crossbones, the good guys over at FightBookMMA.com. Go check the site out. All the shows on the Crossbones MMA Radio Network are available on SoundCloud for free, iTunes for free, Stitcher for free. So subscribe, and if you can, just take a minute to leave us a review and put how many stars you like on there. If you hate us, write it on there. If you like us, write it on there. Don't matter to us. We just appreciate everyone listening, and that way we can improve every single show that we have. You can get all these if you subscribe on iTunes, you get all these episodes automatically without even having to worry about having to click download on there. You get 5 rounds, you get bad decisions, you get keyboard warriors, and Nick's new show that just happened, which by the way is going down tomorrow.
Yes, it is going down tomorrow.
All right, come back tomorrow, check out the Twitters, and we'll give you guys the link and the time when that's going to go down, and so on and so forth. That show is where Nick and a guest, I think tomorrow's gonna be me, is gonna be I'm not sure who's the guest. Is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
All right, cool.
I thought we talked about it.
I'm good. I'm down with it. Dude. I have so much shit going on right now that is just crazy. I'm trying to find a way of what I'm gonna do with this whole Spartan race trip. Now that a nice little speed bump has hit, but that just happened. It's a good show. It's a good concept. It's a good idea. It's gonna grow. It's gonna get a lot better. So definitely tune in for that. And that's going to be able to download automatically on iTunes when you subscribe. What else we got? And we got more new shows coming pretty soon. Those announcements will come. You will get them. So thanks for joining us. For everybody at CrossBonesMMA.com and the radio network, that is Mr. Nick Pilecki. I am Eddie Law. We'll check you guys out next time. See you next week. Actually, see you guys tomorrow for That Just Happened. Have a good day, people.